Welcome to Bashy's Corner. We invite guests from all sections of Danish society, whether they are politicians, cultural experts, sports people, people who work with integration, socio-economical problem of ethnic minorities. One thing we absolutely give emphasis is to have those guests who have something special to say. But we never give a microphone and let them speak. We have a lovely discussion. And that is why I have a very special guest in my studio today.
Thank you.
Eyvind, welcome to my program. We have known each other for a very, very long time. I would not say how long time. And it was, I don't know if you remember, the first time I publicly questioned you, it was in 1990 in Ishøy. You had drafted a report about people in Ishøy municipality and the consequences of demographic, the changes, you know.
Yes.
Can you recall that? Can you remember that?
Yeah, I recall. I recall all the discussion about this report.
Yes.
And it was in those years. It was there was a very hard discussion about the immigration and the refugees who come to Denmark.
It's the same today.
It's the same today, but when we had talked a little bit, I can tell you it had changed.
Sure.
It had changed. But that time I made a report, and it was Ishøy Kommune. It was that municipality which have most immigrants.
At that time?
At that time.
Yes.
And it was mostly Turkish immigrants and
Pakistan.
And their families.
Yes. You came in the limelight at that time, and you were also criticized by many for being populist. Is it true that you somehow gave this report, which was scientific, but somehow it was misused, in my eyes, by Per Madsen, who was Ishøy's mayor?
No, he was very fair. He didn't misuse it.
Okay.
Because it was a very fair report. It was a statistical report.
Okay.
About the evaluation of the immigration to Ishøy Kommune. It was only figures I have put together.
Okay.
But some people meant that if you do that and you tell the evaluation of the figures and you say so many people came to Denmark in 1970 and so much people are in Denmark in 1990, then you are saying something bad about the Turkish people.
No, but you also said in your report...
And I didn't do.
No, but
no, I only showed how the evaluation had been.
Yeah, but the consequences of demographic changes, you know, I remember I read that report, and also because the problem with demographic projection is that it doesn't take into many consideration which changes all the time.
Yeah, but if you should do something to get the people who come to Denmark,
yes,
to help them to be a part of Denmark, then you need to know why they are coming to Denmark and how many they are coming to Denmark, to see in 20 years what are the situation,
yes,
and to find buildings, to find houses where they can live, and school, and healthcare, and so on. And therefore, I found it very important to make the report. But I didn't know that it'd make a lot of discussion. But Per Madsen told me, when you have made this report, maybe there will be a little discussion. And really, there was
a huge discussion.
It was, but now it's a milestone in the research of immigration to Denmark.
So it's still used.
Because now people say, you made that report in 1990, that was correct. But now the discussion is quite different. It's not facts you're discussing now. Now it's only words. Opinions, yes. And you're saying something bad about people. I have never said something bad about the Turkish people who came to Denmark. I only showed how it works.
The development, yeah. But as you say, you got a lot of media attention.
Yes.
And was it good for you or bad for you, this attention you got?
You know, I was a bit surprised because I was living in an environment where I for many years have worked with immigrants to help them in Copenhagen, to help them in Ishøy, to help them everywhere. So I look at myself as a very friendly person to immigrants.
Sympathetic person.
Yeah, so I thought it doesn't matter. I make this because people know who I am.
Okay.
So at that time, I made it for myself. I made it alone, and there was nobody to help me to defend my report. So one of my colleagues, student colleagues, he said he looked at the report and he said, it is correct, but it is politically incorrect.
Exactly. That was also one of the things which I also saw, that figures and statistics are good, that you can use them both ways. You can use them both negative ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you have a master's degree in cultural sociology from Copenhagen.
Yeah, that's right.
But you started working in Denmark's statistic office.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes, because there was some interesting works there, where information of the Danish people of lots of different sectors, figures. But you know, I also worked for myself. I have my own firm, a company, where I make all my research. So I worked there in the day and in the evening and in the weekend. I make my research, and therefore there was at that time. It was not so. There were not so many people who made research on immigration and refugees. Yes. So I had the job in Denmark Statistik as you have. I earned my money there. So,
but again,
so I could live. I have my family. So.
No, that's true. But cultural sociologist looks at the society as a whole, not with figures, you know.
No. But the figures can tell a lot about the society, a part of a society, but also the whole society. And when I've been there a very short time, I made a very strong focus on the environment statistics.
Oh yeah.
Because the environment statistics is very, very important. And at that time, there were no statistic on environment in Denmark, but it was one of the most discussed topic in the political system. And then I made a chronicle in a newspaper in Denmark, and I said, it is very strange that people in the parliament can make laws and decisions about environment when they don't know anything about what's happening. And then the Minister of Environment phoned me and said, couldn't you come to a meeting with me so we can talk about it? Because you're right. So I went in there, and the result was that the government, that time, that was Slytter government. Yes, they give a lot of money.
To you?
No, not to me. To Denmark Statistik.
Ah, okay. Wow.
And we made up a section, a whole section, and in 5-6 years, from no people in the environment statistic, we have a section of 18 people.
Is it the same department which Lomborg were dealing with?
No.
Okay,
that was later. But when I left the Denmark Statistik, then they closed it. So there's no statistic on environment anymore.
Eyvind, one thing I vividly remember, and even if publicly I have been critical of your opinion sometime, but you have always been very helpful and very straight and honest person in your opinions. And I remember whenever I invited you to conferences and seminars and meetings, you were always there. Why other politicians are not so open?
That's the way I am. That's well, I like to meet people. I like to go to conferences. I like to discuss with people. And if people don't agree with me, then I have a discussion with them. But I always try to tell the truth and the facts. And therefore, and I'm also I've always been fighting for the poor people, for the people who have who are not have the best condition in the society.
So when did you join Liberal Party, Venstre?
In 1990.
But you.
So it's 25 years. And it was
not in your youth, but when you were quite mature.
When I was very young and when I was studying, I was living in the environment of the very left-wing people.
Don't tell me that. You were left-wing?
No, I was living in the environment.
You were living in the environment.
My study, all my colleagues, my student colleagues, they were members of the Communist Party and
VS.
CAP and SAP and
oh my God!
And it was in that study all the people from the alternative organizations.
So you were affected by that?
So I was in that environment. Okay. And therefore I know all about Marxism and Leninism and
but then you joined the Venstre party, which is liberal.
Yeah, because
what was that which attracted you to Venstre?
Because I like to be free. I like to have a possibility to express myself and to choose what I want. Okay. And I felt at that time, but it's not so any longer. Yeah. But at that time, the Liberal Party, Venstre, have some of this who draw me into the work.
Okay, and then you were elected for Gentofte Commune, where you were also vice mayor, a deputy mayor, and then you jumped to Copenhagen, Danish Parliament. You know, how was that working at the same time in local level and then on the national level?
Well, I think it was interesting to work on local level because then there you have the small, very small thing decision. But it was also very interesting to change from the local to the central to Parliament, because it's a very, very different things you're discussing, and there I was then I was spokesman for the environment, and I was chairman for the environment committee, and it was very strange because you have to be in the parliament in many years before you have such a job in.
But then you all of a sudden you left both municipality and the national politics. Why? You got tired?
Now?
Yeah, now. I mean, you didn't. You have left both parliament.
Yeah, I stopped in the municipality because I wanted to leave politics total, and then I stopped in 2013, and then I prepared that I would leave the parliament. Okay. Because the work in the parliament, the political work in the parliament, have changed. You know, when you are elected to the parliament, then you are a politician. Think. Yes. You should be that, but you're no longer a politician when you are in the parliament. Then you are a member of a firm. You are a
party soldier.
Yeah. You are not any longer free. we are talking a lot of freedom of speech, but in Parliament you are not freedom of speech.
So, but that is my next question, which is, in my opinion, very vital part of our discussion. You and Beate Ron Hornbeck, they are the two people in your former party who has always been very independent and said
yes.
what you meant, and it made you at odds with your own party. How was that? How did you feel when you were saying something and your party say, hey, you can't say that?
Well, I felt very good about saying what I meant.
Okay.
But it is very difficult because the leaders of the party don't like it, surely. So, and you know, when I come to the group meetings, there was frozen on the windows, and I came in there, and then the leaders, the chairman and the prime minister maybe have told some people of the group to go up and say bad things to me, and said, now you have said something bad, and then you know, but most of the people said that it is good that people say what they mean, but most of them don't dare to say it because they want to be ministers or have a career, and that is different from former. When I was elected, it was not so much a career way to go into politics. It was because you have something you wanted to do.
And you want to change things.
You want to help people
yes.
out in society. But now most in there want to help themselves to have a career.
So if I say that that Denmark now politically have changed from a humanistic, open and tolerant society to a closed, nationalist and very inward-looking society, how far is that?
But that is
Can you agree with that, or?
With some other words, it's correct. Now Denmark is narrowing all the minds in the head. It had changed from what you say, a humanistic, open society, now to a closed society who only see everything coming from outside to be bad.
So then the question comes, and I would like to ask your expert opinion, that why Danish people who are supposed to be very educated, very international, democratic, why they are falling victim to Danish People Party's propaganda?
But it's very difficult to understand because when you have election campaigns or you have discussion, politics, then I mean that most of the Danish people should understand that most of what is said is not correct, and is only said to please people and to say something they think people want to hear. And that is I think it's a very bad way the Danish society have changed now into, because we are moving all our talks to be harder and harder and harder, and nobody react on it nearly. You know, some people try to do it, but they are not heard.
So, do you think that this trend of harsher and harsher tone will continue, or maybe it will not? What is your opinion?
I think it will continue a little time more.
Okay.
But then I think it will be too much, and I can already now I can feel when I'm out to meetings and we have these discussions. So I can feel there's more and more people who say, so now have we reached a limit.
Yes.
We have reached a limit.
Yes.
Now stop. And that is Inger Støjberg, who every day say now we have to make something, new laws, and we have to say that we don't want people to come here. I think we can discuss all the things, but the way we do it is interesting.
Yesterday I was watching her after the vote, after the discussion in the parliament with different parties, and something she said, I really was shocked. She said that now we have succeeded in making the toughest and strictest policies in Denmark. Like it was very proud, to be tough and on refugees. But your party chairman and other people, aren't there good people in there who can say to her, hey, cool down?
Yes, there are good people, but they also think that if you say what you think people want to hear, then you get more votes.
Yeah, but people don't
and
want to hear that.
And therefore they sent Inger Støjberg out to say all the things, and I think she mean it. And that's a very bad thing for her, that she mean what she's saying. But I feel what she said there, that now we have the strongest, toughest
laws
about the countries we are comparing us.
Yeah, exactly.
That is one of the worst thing I've heard, because you don't have to laugh at that, and you don't have to be proud of it.
No.
You can say that we did so and so and so.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, and you can discuss it. And then I think that one of the very bad thing I've heard the last days is that you can take something from the refugees when they come to Denmark. You can take their, as Søren Pind said, if there come a man with a basket with diamonds, you can take this basket. Then, but no people are coming with diamonds. But you can also take their watches and their finger rings, and now I said maybe they also take their teeth.
But Eyvind, when the Nazis were deporting them, they did anyway. What about Social Democratic Party? Because when I listened to Mette Frederiksen, she seems to me like Pia Kjærsgaard light.
No, I think
she's not better than others. What they are following? Everybody's following Dansk Folkeparti.
It's a tactic. It's a tactic. It's because now the Social Democracy have lost a lot of election on the politics of immigrants.
So it's just to get power back?
So now they think if we if we go into that politics together with Venstre and Dansk Folkeparti, and they don't have a limit to us, then people will go back to our party.
Okay. As an ex-parliamentarian and a very wise person, but have been in parliament for so many years, I would very much like you to look at the camera for 1 minute and tell our viewers and those who are watching you and all the ordinary Danes and English-speaking people what you think should be done to make Denmark a more inclusive society.
Well, the first thing I think you should do is to be honest. To be honest in the political discussions. Tell that you want to do that, you want to do this, but also that you have your hearts with you when you make your politics. And then I think we should stop to marginalize more and more groups in the society. And we should stop to set groups up against each other, to say that some people get more than the other people and they take from each other. That is one of the big problems. And at last, in the integration policy, you have to focus on integration, and you have to say bad things about people who live in the areas where they have a lot of problems. You have to only to focus on how you can get all the people in to be a part of the Danish society. If you every day say something bad about different groups, immigrants, refugees, or poor people, prostitutes, or so on, and people who don't have any work, then you marginalize them, and then Denmark will not hang together.
Eyvind, It was a pleasure talk to you, and I just wish that I had you when you were in the parliament. But today, I hope that our viewers have become much more wiser after listening to such a wise and experienced politician. And I'm sure that our beautiful, lovely Denmark, maybe in 10, 20 years, will come back to that humanistic Denmark at least I came to. Until then, take good care of yourself and be blessed.